Hello and welcome to Two Men in a Shed podcast. I'm Dan.
And I'm Justin.
And today we are talking about...
I've covered over the topics. You can't see them.
You've removed the topics. You went, don't worry, just introduce it and read out the topics.
I'll tell you the topics. I'll read the topics.
Oh my God.
Okay, you can read topics. Well, I'll start.
Go on
then. Victim culture. Trying to... well, I'm going to go into that in a minute. Next topic's yours.
Attractiveness versus personality, I guess.
And then we got a bit on asylum seekers and illegal immigration.
Yeah, and then what's that one? Top US
woke activists. Yeah, okay. Some interesting stuff in the news about some top activists.
Yeah, and then last one is vegan protesters. Or are you saving that for next week?
There's a good story about some vegan protesters at where was it? It was at Starbucks. So we'll get into that.
Yes, awesome. Okay. If you ever had any doubts about whether this was pre-recorded or scripted, I think the fact that we introduce these subjects will tell you otherwise.
Well, it is pre-recorded, Fat Boy. We're not live.
That's what I
meant. We will be live. We will be live on Twitch and possibly YouTube.
Wait, what?
In a few months. Not yet.
Okay, cool.
Well, explained in the original episode that the internet is not good enough for it, but no. I'm laying a hardline cable, so we'll get there.
Okay. So will we have a shed then for the next bit?
Probably not.
Oh, great.
Not unless you say something really offensive that gets it, that ends up getting us millions of hits. Then we'll make some money, and then we'll get an expensive shed. So depends how provocative and offensive you want to be. Right. Stop gibbering. Let's move on. I've been talking the most. Victim culture. So, yes. I saw a podcast. I can't remember what it was. Maybe Fresh and Fit or one of those types of podcasts. And they had a woman on, and they were talking about body count. Mm-hmm. So how many men have women slept with, and how that affects men they're looking at. So, and they were basically trying to say that the more men a woman was slept with, the less desirable they are to man.
Okay.
So if you slept with 100 men, whilst you'll still easily get laid by a man, they're less likely to want to marry you. You're not wife material.
But you're assuming. Okay, fine.
Well, that was beside the point. That was beside the point. I mean, so he goes to explain it to her. Say, look, she's disagreeing, and he's saying, look, these are the reasons why. And she just turns around and says, I don't need you to mansplain it to me. And he's like, well, you don't understand, so I'm trying to explain it to you. Why do you have to go and say mansplaining and make it a sexist thing?
Yeah.
I'm trying to explain it to you. He's like, I don't need you to mansplain it to me. He says, you're being sexist. Why are you doing this? And she basically turns around and says, well, it's because you're a white male. And he's like, well, what's my race got to do with it? Well, what's my ethnicity got to do with it? Why are you bringing race into it now? And she just like, forget I said anything. And this is what I'm talking about. It's straight into calling names. And they're just like got a list that they go through. You're one of these things. You must be. Yeah. You're a misogynist or...
Words of the decade.
Yeah, you're a misogynist or you're some kind of bigot, or it's always attacking. All he was doing is trying to explain it to her. Yeah. So, I thought we'd have a quick chat about that, and I see it a lot online.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see it in real life.
That's a good point, yeah. Is it a made-up thing? Is it just created for views? Not views, but, like... for backlash and to get that sort of stuff. No,
I don't think so. I had to think about it, and I think it's because, one, the podcasts I'm looking at are American. That's nothing against Americans. Americans tend to be the most passionate about things, so you hear them loudly.
Yeah.
And they seem to have some of the best people in the world and some of the worst people in the world. So America, I think, does everything at extremes.
Definitely, yeah.
And so you see it more there. But it happens in the UK. I've seen a few clips from the UK as well. It's really become a problem, especially around college campuses and things like that.
Yeah.
I think I just don't travel in the circles where I'd see it.
Which is the younger generation.
Well, I've got kids, but
Well,
I don't see a lot of this woke stuff that makes people angry. It makes me angry.
hearing them just talk about it.
Not my kids. I don't hear this from my kids. I
No.
don't hear it from any family and stuff. And I've got a family ranging in all age ranges, from 3 years old up to. I
Yeah.
mean, some of the kids are 26, 27 in my my extended family. But I don't see it, this wokeness. But I see it online a lot, and I'm wondering if it's just YouTube.
Recommending these videos to you.
The YouTube algorithm is just chucking them all of these videos at me because I watch them.
Yeah.
I'm going a little bit off topic now, but I had this thought about it. I think it's just YouTube throwing me all of these videos. So I decided to watch, purposely searched up some left-wing sort of people
Yeah.
and watch some of their views on YouTube. I thought I'd try and get a balance to it. And all I watched like 2 or 3 videos from people on the left, and I just ended up walking away thinking, what a bunch of bloody idiots. Do these people really delude themselves that much?
Yeah.
So I can't actually watch them. It pains me to watch these the videos from the left. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I was going to say, well, I don't really have any thoughts on this, but I was
There
thinking...
There you go. Dan has no thoughts, just as we always suspected. Sorry, carry on.
I said on this. Cheeky bastard. But I was going to say you should create a new YouTube account and then just kind of viewed your videos and see what other videos it was suggested to you. To see if it was YouTube's algorithm or just you.
Oh, so watch our own videos on YouTube and then...
No.
And then see what it recommends based off of our videos.
Oh, that'd be a good one as well, yeah.
Probably nothing, because we don't think we have that enough views for it to really enter the algorithm. Mind you, it's in the algorithm, so you never know. May
Yeah,
get some views. Sorry, my phone's going.
Yeah.
I'll let you
That's
have
rude,
a word. Have a word. I can be rude. It's fine. This is my podcast
Have you?
or our podcast.
Oh my god, that's irony. Well, have you ever? You've never encountered it in real life in yourself, have you?
I wouldn't say never. I have. I said it on the last week's show. I think I was in London with the kids and some furries who were around.
No, you didn't say this.
I did. I said it on the podcast.
You can. I mean, it's videoed, so you can watch it. But
Maybe I didn't. No, I did, because I told you about I started to say them and my wife shushed me. So we were in London and there's some furries.
Yeah.
And me kids sort of look at me and go, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
As these people dressed up as dogs, and I'm like, "They're called furries." and my wife looks at me with that wife look sort of thing.
How
It's
do you
like,
know that?
Just don't.
Yeah.
Sort
Oh,
of
okay.
thing, No, the more of the just don't. But
Wait, so these are the people that identify as dogs?
yeah, they're people who identify
Okay.
as dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they walk around. People are putting them along on a leash, and they're walking upright on 4 legs, but they got these like dog masks on and stuff. So
Wow.
I have seen it, but that's only when I've been into London, and you're saying not directly. They were just walking past us. But yeah, no, I have, and I do know people who are very heavily into the trans issues, particularly hating on Hogwarts and what's her name, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
Pretty much saying, "Oh, she's horrible, disgusting human being," and all this. I had a look at what she said. I haven't dug into it in too much detail, but I don't think there's anything particularly wrong in what she said at all.
No. I mean, it's just stating facts, if I remember rightly.
I haven't looked at them all, so I don't know how far she went.
Yeah.
But initially, yeah, she certainly was only stating facts initially.
Yeah. I know that one of the cast, what's her face?
Luna, the
That's
girl
it,
that plays Luna, has come
Yeah.
out not supporting her, but just saying that she was young and naive when she first commented on this back when it happened originally. But that she thinks that J.K. Rowling always has the vulnerable people's at heart when she's making these things, trying to protect them and stuff. It's just that she leans more towards the protection of the women, not trans people. So I think that's the problem. But she basically just said you should hear her out and talk instead of just throwing hate. So she didn't even go that far. She just said you should hear her out, talk to her, instead of throwing hate. Anyway, now she's getting loads of hate as well.
Yeah, and it's sickening actually to be let people can just. I mean, like, do they not have anything better to do than go after random people that say random texts and tweets or whatever? It's like focus on if they used all that hate and focused on the real issues, we might actually achieve something as a civilization. It's the same as recently as well. I heard Emilia Clarke.
No, I don't know who that is.
Have you ever watched Game of Thrones?
What kind of question is that? Of course I've watched Game of Thrones.
Well, then you would know who she is. I've never watched
I don't know who she is.
She's the queen.
I don't know all the actresses' names.
Oh my dear God. I've never watched Game of Thrones, but I know she is. Anyway,
Cersei.
Okay, I guess. I've never seen it.
She baddie.
No, she's the Dragon Queen thingy. That's what I heard.
Yeah. What's her face? Yeah. Go on. Yeah, long blonde hair in the program. She's not in the live.
Anyway, she posted recently, I think it was.
She done a few naked parts in it.
No.
She did. She was naked a few times.
Oh,
in
yes.
it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because she was actually on a talk once saying that she sat down with her parents to watch one episode of it, and it happened to be the one where she was butt naked.
Yeah, just that one episode.
And, she sat down with both her parents and she's butt naked in it, yeah. And she gets naked in a few episodes, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Yeah, anyway, she posted, I don't know if she posted it or if it was just a photo that was posted at some point of her with no makeup on. And somebody basically, he tweeted something that was hateful towards her, I guess, towards the way she looked. Because it was like, oh, she looks old or something like this. It was basically along those lines. And it was one of those things where, like, is it Lad Bible? One of those pages, they pick it up and then they make it even worse. And they just make it even worse. And you're like, what are you doing? Like, why are you making, why are you giving, what's it called, airtime to this, thing that this negative tweet that shouldn't have been, should have just gone into the ether in the first place. And there's things like that as well.
Yeah, on that note, one of the other things that really annoys me is you'll see in the media, everybody's upset about this. This is all kicking off, and they show you tweets and stuff, and you'll see it's a tweet that's got like,
I didn't like this.
2 likes on it and 1 share.
Yeah,
it's like, how is this all kicking off? There's a tweet with 2 likes and 1 share.
Yeah, it's not kicking off. It's journalists trying to make their money's worth because now everybody's a journalist. Or
there's a lot of bot accounts that reposting and doing these posts as well, and they don't get many likes, they don't get too many shares, but there's a lot of the posts. So it's a lot of the time the journalists just pick up on crap, anything to try and give a story that's nonsense.
And I've seen this one where they take things out of proportion as well, like Chris Rock and the Will Smith
incident,
right? So Chris Rock recently has come out with a Netflix special where I haven't seen it, but it's where he talks about it, and I guarantee you it won't be that bad. It'd be like, oh yeah, I said this, or I didn't like this, or whatever. Nothing too probably out of the ordinary. But I've seen today on like social media that these places, these pages will say Chris Rock comes out and says he hates Will Smith for this, and you're just like, what? I bet you didn't.
But even on normal things, I see news articles like that. It'll say a big headline about, I don't know, something controversial. You open it up and there's really nothing about it in there. There's one line where they might mention something to do with it, and it's like, why? It's just clickbait.
Yeah, and that's how I view everything on social media now. Clickbait, don't click it.
I'm not talking about social media. I'm talking about the main news, the mainstream media.
But they follow now from social media rather than the other way around.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, all they report on is what's going on in social media.
Yeah. Actually, funny enough, my parents mentioned that the other day. It was at the one show, and they were like, "Why are they now just reporting on everything that's on YouTube?" It was like this person, they come on and go, "Oh my god, this is the most watched video on YouTube in however many, whatever it is, months." And my parents just went, "Why are they reporting on stuff that's on YouTube?" It's really not important.
What gets me is when they say this is blown up on YouTube. It's really on social media. It's all over the place. It's had over 100,000 views, and I'm thinking, 100,000 views. That's considered blown up on YouTube. Mind you, I'd like 100,000 views.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
but
we would. Yeah.
My point is, how many videos get millions and millions of views?
Loads. Yeah.
Every day, and they say, "Oh, it's blown up on social media. They've got 50k views now."
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, everybody's got to be watching that. 50k views.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was victim culture. We went off track as usual.
We're too old people that are angry at stuff. So I'm not really old, but
yeah, victim culture. Everyone's quick to play the victim. And this is what pisses me off.
It's a very toxic trait.
You know, it just freaking. I was say grow a pair, but they'll probably get in trouble for saying that.
You just did.
I did. It's just grow a pair, yeah.
And let's face it, you know, unless Lad Bible write out, Justin said for all toxic culture to grow a pair.
No one knows who I am, so it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, I don't think it'll really matter then, does it?
Well, it might drive some traffic to our page. So if you are angry, be sure to link us, yeah?
Yeah. Don't forget the link.
Yeah, okay. You know, share and retweet with all the haters so that we can get some views. You know, you can get us some money.
And then we can carry on doing this and making you more angry. Because it's funny.
It's not funny to make people angry. It's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
No, it's not. Pack it in.
People will come on and say, how do you sleep at night? I'll be like, well, usually 7 hours and...
On a big bed full of money.
Yeah.
I wish. Right.
On the plane to Australia.
Your topic next. Kick us off.
It's not my topic. These are all yours.
Yeah, but I've given this one to you.
Why is that? Is that because it most relates to me or just because we were doing an alternative?
Well, no, because I've noticed I tend to ramble a lot more than you do.
You've noticed that, have you?
Well, I think, to be honest, the thing is because you just show up and chat, whereas I actually have to prepare topics.
No, I prepare.
So today, before you got here, about 20 minutes before we started recording, did you know anything that we were talking about today?
Well, no, because you've written the subjects, and to be fair, you told me last night you were going to talk about cows.
I have actually left cows off because
I'm glad I didn't do the research.
Because I did the research and it's a bit of a 50-50. So I thought, you know, it's one of my spare topics that if I run out of things to talk about, I will talk about. When he says cows, it's about meat farming and the impact on the environment. Probably isn't as bad as people think it is.
No.
In comparison to vegan foods, which, you know, consist mainly of like avocados, which are the process for growing avocados. You know, they kill millions and millions of bees every time they do it. They murdered millions of bees, and then they fly the avocados around the world, then put them on trucks. Also, someone here can buy an avocado and say, "Oh, look how I don't eat meat. I'm having an avocado or whatever." It's just nonsense.
And then it gets posted over social media, which again, terrible.
Oh, I'm a vegan. I'm sitting down to my lovely avocado on toast. Yep, that was. There's a lot more of a CO2 footprint on that than there is on a blooming steak. So, well, now I've done that topic. Let's move on. It's no longer in my backups.
No. Well, no, you haven't really done that topic, but...
I could go into more detail about it, but we're not going to. Let's move on.
Let us know if you want to.
Kick your topic off.
So the next one is attractiveness versus personality. Oh, God. I mean, to be honest, I don't really know what this subject's about because you wrote these and you've not written anything. That's the only one you haven't written anything about as well. Like,
why do you think I gave it to you?
Yeah, okay.
No,
to be honest, what were you thinking when you wrote this?
So this was actually, I think it was the same, maybe in the same podcast or different podcast what I was talking about at the beginning of the victim culture.
Okay.
When they were talking about body count and stuff like this. And one of the discussions that kind of comes up is attractiveness will initially grab a male's attention.
Of course, it's... Yeah.
But it will not keep a male.
No.
That's where personality comes in, not just personality, but also your femininity and things like that.
Yeah.
But I actually wrote it down as a topic because I wanted to expand on it more than that. Now, I see a lot of people talking about this on other podcasts where they say, oh, yeah, the attractiveness will get you in, and then it's down to your personality and the way you behave to be kept. But I think it's more than that. Now, a good personality will change your attractiveness.
This is why I'm still single. Sorry.
If you get to know someone, the looks start to fade away over time.
Yeah.
And become less important. As you get to know the person and their personality comes through, the more you enjoy their company, you find them more attractive.
There's a word for that, just FYI.
And what's the word?
Love.
No, bollocks. I'm talking about, let's say, I'm not talking about as a romantic person partner
okay,
first. Let's say they're a plain Jane, if you forgive the term. You know, mediocre woman, looks wise, not bad, not great, just straight down the middle.
I can hear the Karens already.
Not Karens, Janes.
No,
right?
Yeah.
But Karens is the opposite, the flip side.
Yeah.
You could get a really attractive one, but you don't want to go near her because she's a freaking nut bar.
Okay, fine.
But in the same way that you might really enjoy their company, you really enjoy their time. We're not saying they're romantic yet, but you can grow romantic feelings with someone like that over time.
Yeah.
And their looks become less important as you become more attracted to their personality. And that's something that's often not talked about. So I would say if you're not a really attractive person, you need to get to know people.
But that's really difficult, and I'll tell you why. Because attractiveness is what people base their reason for kind of wanting to talk to you, I guess. If you go into a bar and you sort of scan around, women will do it as well, scan around, someone to talk to. Which people are you more drawn towards? Oh, sorry, that wasn't really that was more a rhetorical question. But
I'm just thinking, because if you've got a plain, I'm talking about from a woman's perspective to a man, not a man to a woman. Women will friend zone men because they're not good looking enough, and they'll stay there. The only way they'll come out of a friend zone ever is if they become rich and start paying for everything for a woman. Then they'll put them out of the friend zone and make them into a romantic zone.
Who hurt you in a past life?
No one's hurt me. I'm actually very happy. I'm talking about modern women,
right?
Not the new generation. I'm talking about, and I can kind of go by what I've seen online. As I say, I see a lot of shit online. But it tends to be, and you don't need to be a genius to go and watch some of these videos on the college campuses and see how they react. And it's mental. But it's a given fact. Women tend to aim upwards. Now, upwards is normally they'll sleep with somebody who's attractive. Yeah. But they want somebody that earns enough money to give them a lifestyle they want.
Yes, but that's kind of right. So that's kind of redundant, I think, in a little bit, like in this modern world. I
think it's specific in this modern world.
Well, where you're getting where women are saying they want equal, not rights, but equality, and they don't want to close the pay gap and stuff.
Stop rubbing your jacket on the mic.
Sorry.
Go on.
So where they want equality and they want to close the pay gap between men and women and stuff. Women, it's more accurate now to say that men are probably also looking for women that can support themselves, because you've got women that go, I'm an independent woman, I can support myself. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no. So I'm looking at it. Now here's the thing, right? Now this is a generality.
Yeah.
And it tends to be more towards the youth, the 25s and under, right? So when we go into a relationship with a man, they expect the man to pay for everything. So the man's money is their money. It is a couple, the money between the couple, but her money she earns is hers.
Yeah, okay. Not every relationship, but
no, definitely not every relationship. But a lot of younger women see it that way.
Which is an old style.
Well, no, because the old style view, women didn't really earn the money at all, and if they needed the money in the household, it would go into the household. If you go back to really old style, the women would handle the money. The man would go and earn it. The women would sort everything out and actually give the man an allowance from his own money, essentially. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about they would expect a man to pay for everything.
Right.
So the man has to be able to pay for everything, give her a good lifestyle, and she needs, if she's working and earning money of her own, she'll keep that. That'll be her money, which she'll go and do things with.
Yeah.
So you can forget her money altogether. That doesn't attract a man.
Right.
Men don't care about how much money a woman has.
No.
Men care about their personality
and attractiveness
and how they behave. Attractiveness definitely at first, and always. But you can become attracted to a woman that wouldn't necessarily be considered attractive.
Yeah.
But you really need to get to know them. That's my point. Is you need to get to know these people to become attracted to them. So this is the difference. The people that are attractive, I would probably think, are going to have higher body counts in general. Because modern society, let's be honest, it's no biggie to go out and sleep around.
No.
And
well,
it was that way for men for forever.
Yeah.
But for women, it's becoming more and more common in the younger generation.
Okay. Yeah.
But men don't want to marry a woman that's been sleeping around with 50, 100 blokes.
Right.
It's much easier for a woman to sleep with a man than it is for a man to sleep with a woman.
It is now, yeah.
Except for the top 5% of men.
Yeah.
The top 5% of men get their choice of as many women as they want. Because all of the women want the top 5% of men.
Yeah.
So when the women seem to think that men are sleeping around all the time and they're sleeping with loads of people, what you'll find is no, 5% of men are sleeping around with loads of women, and all of those women are sleeping with the same pool of 5% men. Most men aren't the ones doing all the sleeping around. What do you think about it, right? How many men get a different woman every night of the week?
Well, I'm not.
How much effort would you need to put in to get a woman?
Quite a lot, considering the gatekeepers are the women, not the men.
And exactly. So how much effort would a woman have to go through to get a different man every night of the week?
Not much.
None. She could just go out to a club anytime, pick a man up and go, let's go.
Yeah. Most women don't, but yeah.
But it's becoming more popular. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying every night of the week, but I'm just saying it's become more and more popular. Now, let's say they spend, let's say they're not looking for a relationship till they're 25. And they go out at 19. So they do it once a month. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's 6 years. Once a month. 12 times 6.
72.
So they got a body count of 72 before they're actually looking for a relationship.
Yeah.
If you were looking for a wife, would you want somebody who slept with 72 men?
I mean, she has loads of experience. No. Probably not, no.
That's normally the woman's answer. Yeah, I'm sure men would like someone with experience.
That comes of age, not with many people.
I'm sorry, but once you get past 5, it's a diminishing return after experience. It's it's into undesirable territory.
Yeah, but you have to think of
Not to mention that there is scientific evidence that every time a woman sleeps with a man, it lowers her threshold to generate in-depth bonds with men.
Yeah, because once you get used to the idea of being able to sleep with more people, you shed the kind of that barrier that can create.
And a woman that's had a very high body count is more likely to cheat.
Interesting.
That's, again, a statistical facts from America. US facts.
Yeah.
So, may differ in other countries, but I suspect the same is true wherever you go.
Yeah, probably.
So, yeah, we're off topic. But, my point is, even if you're not the best look in the world, you can still find men that will start finding you attractive once they get to know you. Now, I think a man would quite happily take a woman out of the friend zone once he starts getting those feelings. I'm saying I think the other way around is not quite true. I think it's quite rare for a woman to take a man out of the friend zone. Unless she's stone drunk, and that's probably what most of the men are hoping for when they're friends with the very hot-looking women.
But even then, that's temporary, right? That'll be a temporary thing.
Well, it'll be a one-night thing, yeah.
Yeah, if alcohol is involved. But I think that's more toward, like you were saying earlier, it's more towards what men and women hold value in the opposite sex.
Yeah, but to sum up, attractiveness is what will draw a man to you, not what will keep him there. Yeah. It doesn't matter how attractive you are. If you're a freaking horrible person, they're going to drop your ass.
Indeed. And also, indeed, the other way, if you're too nice, you just become friends. That's speaking from experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I think.
Would you like the next topic? Because there's some notes there if you want them.
Not really. I mean.
Okay. I'll pick it up. Asylum seekers. Now, this is a bit for the UK. Often I talk a lot of American stuff, but this is the UK. So we've got Rishi Sunak, who's our Prime Minister.
Yeah.
He is looking to introduce a bill to stop illegal immigrants claiming asylum. And the bill is looking to deport those people and ban them from entering the UK for life.
Finally.
So this is a bill he's looking at doing. And it's aimed at stopping the little dinghies that come across from France and the lot with these illegal immigrants and sneaking into the UK.
Question is it going to get passed?
Probably. For our American audience, that's the channel between the UK and France. We get a lot of immigrants working their way through Europe and then going to France and then crossing in little dinghies and stuff across this channel. It's very dangerous. A lot of them die every year. And when they get here, we just give them everything and fine.
More than the citizens in the UK have themselves.
Quite often, yes. So, in fact, we've got a very large population where we live. It was on the news just today that they don't work. They're not working. We're supporting everything. They're getting put up in really nice hotels. And they get everything for free, and we expect nothing in return.
And they send money home as well, which...
Yeah, that's it. That's the other thing, yeah. So we give them money to live on, and then they send it home to where they came from, and it's just, no. And one of the issues we've always been having is that they can seek asylum. They get here and they just say, we're seeking an asylum, we need to stay because it's dangerous back in our home country or whatever it is. Well, in most cases, you didn't come from your home country. You came across from France.
Yeah, because they won't let you in.
We can't just kick them back to France.
No.
Because France don't want them. Because they were in France illegally. But having no borders in Europe, people can just wander everywhere. Yeah. They can come in from anywhere in Europe and then cross Europe and come to the UK. Well, he's basically saying no more. We're now going to end that. Anyone that comes in illegally will not be able to seek asylum.
Good.
They have to go through the proper channels of seeking asylum. So he's basically banning that as a way to come into the UK, which will hopefully curb the illegal immigration. Now, legal immigration, I'm all for.
Yeah, definitely.
We need people in the country. We need some hard workers. And I'll even go as far as saying a lot of the English are bloody lazy. You know.
Not us, though. We're doing a podcast.
Well, we both work full time. So
work's a loose term. But...
well, for you, maybe.
Can we cut that?
No.
Yeah, I work, yeah. I do good stuff.
But yeah, I think there's a fair number of English people that would much rather not work than do a job which would be considered hard labour.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't want to get their hands dirty, so we need these people who are willing to do the hard work to come into the country. So I don't want anyone screaming bigots and crap like that. I'm talking about illegal immigration. Follow the legal process, and I'm more than happy for people to come in.
The process, though, for becoming a asylum seeker needs to be tightened up a bit, though, because there was a few documentaries on it a while ago that people seeking asylum, becoming basically an immigrant, legal one, and they'll be waiting for forever, and then their application get rejected because of something that is undisclosed, or they forgot to tell them or something like that. So yeah, that whole process needs to be tightened up.
To be honest, they're seeking asylum in this country. There needs to be time there in order to do the necessary checks and everything else. You can't expect, as an asylum seeker from outside of the UK, you can't impose on us, say, that we want an asylum in your country, you must give me an answer in the next 2 weeks. Well, if people are saying that, we say, fine, the answer's no.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It takes as long as it takes to do the checks. There's hundreds of thousands of people seeking asylum. We're not going to put hundreds of thousands of caseworkers onto this because it's just a ludicrous cost.
Yeah. Plus, we only have limited space for a tiny country as well.
We are a tiny country, and we take a very large number of asylum seekers. So, yeah. But we needed the population, but we are getting to that point now where we don't need many more. What we now need is more people willing to do the jobs no one else wants. So that should be I'm talking about legal immigration as opposed to asylum seeking. Asylum seeking, from war-torn countries and everything else. I mean, we've got a lot of people from the Ukraine here, a lot. I was going to add the Ukraine war to our topics today, actually. I forgot. But if we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we don't. But yeah, in summary, he's stopping these illegal immigrants coming in. So I'm hoping that bill passes, because it's been a problem in this country for 50 years now.
Probably more. Yeah.
No one, the idea is we stop them on the French side, don't let them across. But I believe the French are just letting them through because they don't want them in France. They don't want to have to deal with it, so they're letting them through.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they always have for years.
We patrolled the channel. Our navy patrols the channel. We're not allowed to make them turn around and go back, so instead we bring them into the country.
Why aren't we allowed to turn them around?
Because then you're kicking them back to France and they'll die in the waters. It's dangerous for them to be crossing in their dinghies and stuff.
Well, yeah, they shouldn't be there in the
so
first place.
Everyone screams human rights. Human rights, you're going to make them die. You're going to turn them around in these little dinghies that are death traps. Well, my answer would be, you put yourself on there. Screw
exactly,
off.
Yeah.
You're not coming over here.
It's your own fault, your own decision. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, and not to mention that the people that are making money off of this is organised crime. It's organised crime that are arranging these things, and they take thousands of pounds off of these people, shove them in a dinghy and point them in the right direction.
Yeah.
And that's as far as it goes, and they're making millions.
Yeah, not surprised.
So yeah, that's all I've got to say on that. It's nice to see, hopefully it goes through. It's nice to see a win for a Prime Minister in the UK. I really think that Rishi Sunak's doing a better job than any of the last 3 or 4 Prime Ministers that we've had. Possibly 10.
I think I can agree with that one.
I don't agree with everything he does, but as far as I'm concerned, he's been the best by miles so far.
It's probably because he's more organised in what he's kind of trying to achieve. I think. Yeah,
and as I mentioned last time, he put a stop to the Scottish bill to make changing your gender really easy.
Okay, that was him.
Yeah, that was his. He stopped it basically because it's incompatible with English law or UK law.
Oh, right.
So they said no. But I mean, they could have said yes if they really wanted to, couldn't they?
Yeah,
I mean, we could have had a divergence in law, but they just said no, and that's where we are.
Oh, okay. Next.
Okay, I'll give you a synopsis of what it was, and you give me your thoughts on it. So next, there's one of the top activists in the US.
Yeah.
Who is a black lady who's seeking reparations and asking for reparations from the government, to pay all the black people money for slavery from the past. Now, I've briefly mentioned this before, but this woman who's one of the top activists, she was recently being interviewed, and they showed her the passenger list from the Mayflower, which was a ship that went to the US. Mm-hmm. Everybody on that ship was free. There was 101 people or 101 families, I can't remember exactly, on that ship. They were all free people, and her ancestors were on that list. So her ancestors chose to go to the US.
Yeah.
And she was out there saying, we need reparations for the slavery, my heritage and all this. But she was one of the free people who chose to go to the US. Her family was, her ancestors. But it gets worse for her. Her ancestors were slave owners. They were slave traders.
Oh.
So not only was she her ancestors free people, they were also involved in the slave industry.
Part of the problem.
So now she's one of these people shouting, we need reparations. So now I would say, you're now one that needs to pay those reparations.
Yeah. So if it goes through, she's going to be... Yeah.
And I obviously saw it online, and these people go on to say, so before you start shouting about reparations, and even if reparations are decided upon, you should be forced into doing an ancestry test to see if your ancestors were actually enslaved or not.
Yeah.
Now, there's been so much DNA mingling since then. How many generations is it since then? Quite a few generations.
When was the slave trade?
I don't know.
20s? Was it earlier than that? 1800s? Late 1800s?
Well, no, when they first were over, I thought it was like 1600s.
Oh, 2,000 years. 400 years.
Yeah, how long has the US been around? About 400 years or 200 years?
Yeah, it's not that. Well, the US isn't that old.
Anyway,
I found out the other day. But that's at least
certainly hundreds of years ago.
That's at least 6 generations, isn't it?
Yeah. So, how much intermingling of DNA has there been since then?
A lot.
So and obviously you've had a lot of voluntary people come over in that time.
Yeah.
So, I would say when you start looking at the ancestry there, you may have one parent that was a slave, one parent with heritage that went back to slavery. The chances are you're going to have another parent, or even when the same parent, bloodlines that come freely to the US.
Yeah.
And quite possibly have bloodlines that were involved in the slave trade.
Yeah.
So
I think if you go back far enough, a lot of people, they will be involved in that trade one way or another, either as slaves or as traders. And probably both, like you say.
That's what I'm saying. With all the amount of time that's passed and the bloodline mixing, there's a good chance you've got both lines.
So I think it's silly because you won't be able to separate those two. And let's face it, they were over a century ago. Obviously, 3 centuries.
I'd say if it was just 1 century ago, you could quite easily be the child of somebody that was a slave. Yeah. So it's a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
No one's parent was a slave in modern day America, unless they were underground slavery. I mean, not mainstream slavery.
Yeah. That time has been and passed many times over in terms of generations.
Yeah, and no one there deserves reparations.
You cannot. I mean, if it was happening today, fair enough, but it isn't. It's happened. Your ancestors were part of it, not you, and therefore, it's just not even relevant.
As for California, there was a report in this. And I said it on the last show that there was never any. California was the one state that didn't allow slaves.
Yeah.
So they're looking to pay reparations. They never had slaves, and they're paying reparations to people that never were slaves because it was hundreds of years ago. And it's like, what kind of nonsense is that? I mean, California, you're a joke now.
Yeah.
California is now a joke. Their politics is ridiculous. But I take that all the way to their president. I don't know if most Americans realise Biden is the freaking laughing stock of the world. He is so incompetent. He can't speak. He falls over all the time. I mean, come on.
He wanders around. He's suffering. He must be suffering from dementia.
We've had some bad leaders over the last few years.
Yeah, but none as crazy as that guy.
But, I mean, he can't string a sentence together. It's time to put him out to pasture, yeah?
Yeah.
Seriously, he is a joke. And if any Americans are watching this...
But they can't do anything about it. Well, they can by voting, but...
Oh, my God. Yeah, I think I saw some things saying that it looked like he's probably going to run again.
That was what.
Who in their right mind would vote for him?
He's in the run. Yeah, because he's only been 1 term, right? So he's automatically up, I guess, for the next term. Him, I think Trump was in the running, and there's somebody else as well.
Ron DeSantis.
That's it. Everyone wants him.
Ron DeSantis. He's Florida.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever they called, senator. No, he's not senator. He's a.
I don't know. I'm not really.
I don't know. Anyway, he runs Florida. And he's awesome.
Yeah.
I watched an hour interview of him the other day with him and Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro was basically interviewing him, some Jewish coalition alliance thing. If you know Ben Shapiro is. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it was a brilliant interview there. It was amazing. Although I think they should get what's his name, Senator Josh Hawley. It's one of the guys on the Senate. He's absolutely brilliant. Just watch him, look him up. I think it's Josh Hawley.
Okay.
It's definitely Hawley.
Yeah.
I can't remember his first name. But he's brilliant. I see him all the time where he's questioning people. He's great. They should pull him out and put him up for president.
Okay.
Right, moving on.
Next one.
What have we got next?
5th one. Number 5.
Have you said all you wanted to say on the slave trade?
I feel like you're asking me that question.
I'm asking you that question because we're supposed to be doing a podcast together.
Okay. Not because of colour my skin.
Well, you may have more input than me.
No, I don't. I have no idea.
Do you know your heritage?
No. Well, Caribbean.
Yeah, I meant.
No, I don't really, to be honest. And to be honest, and this is the point: is to me, it doesn't matter. It's Like, you can't change it. Nothing. You can't do anything about it. It's not happening now. It doesn't affect my life.
Okay, so but would you feel differently if you found out
Yeah.
that, I don't know, 4 generations back, you're on your mum's side or whatever,
Yeah.
you were slaves, versus finding out 3 generations ago, 4 generations ago, 20 generations ago, whatever, you came from a slave trader family?
No, it wouldn't make any difference.
No difference at all to you?
No, because you can't change it, can you?
No, I'm just wondering if it would make you feel any different,
Not really. No.
knowing what side your family came from.
I mean, if it starts making me go into a a slave trader kind of what's it called occupation, fair enough. Then I'll start questioning it. But right now, no.
Now, my mum was heavily into our ancestry at one point, and she made this ginormous family tree.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any slave traders on there or what. I have no idea. But when people think, they just think one person back, their mum, their mum, their mum, their mum. But it's not.
No.
Your family tree is, every time it splits into 2, there's 2 parents. So by the time you go back 20 generations, the top of that, the trees are ginormous, especially by the time you start adding all the other branches of the tree in, the siblings and the children and stuff. So if you're related to somebody that done something, you go back a few generations and there's thousands of people at the top of your tree.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Or sorry, at the bottom of the tree, there's thousands of people across who you're related to. It's amazing. Obviously, you've got this like a pyramid. At the top, you start with 2 people and you break them out into their kids and their kids and their kids. And you end up with thousands across the bottom.
I really wanted to write one in software, like a 3D application, and just have it all rendered in 3D. I never got around to doing it, but
I was going to say there's already applications there. It's called Ancestry.
Yeah, well, this website's different, but yeah, it's an interesting facts that you can find out.
But it's probably been 20 years since I looked at my family tree. I do remember there being some rather interesting characters on there that I could see. Yeah.
Oh, really? Cool. Like what?
I don't know. I can't remember. I'll have to dig it out. I know there were some ship's captains.
Wow. Yeah.
But I don't know what they've done.
Yeah.
Possibly just traders of normal goods.
Does it actually, funny enough, when you say that, you're like, oh yeah, some ship captain and various other things.
Don't be saying me.
What?
What are you going to say?
You're
going to say about the rum?
No.
Oh, right, okay.
I was going to ask you.
My surname's Morgan, so Captain Morgan is a famous brand of rum.
I was going to say, no. Does it make you think that future generations, if they were to do the tree and they get to you, and you're like, I don't know. I guess you can't. There's nothing really outstanding in the sense of like, oh wow, he's a ship captain.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, what they'll see is that he was a very famous podcaster. By the time we're that far down,
Sure, yeah.
That's what they'll see.
Yeah.
Failed podcaster, failed YouTuber.
It just in your family tree, it just lists all the things you failed at. It's like YouTube, podcast.
We failed at a lot of stuff.
Life, I don't know.
Despite failures in various aspects, I would consider myself a winner in life.
Oh yeah, you've done very well. Yeah.
Well,
we all are.
At one point, there's diminishing returns, right? You have to realise when you've won. This is it. So, How much money is enough money? How much do you need to earn a year before you can say, I earn enough? I don't need to compete for more and more. Where is that line for you? Now, I read a study recently that said in the US, it's $70K. After that, it's a diminishing return on happiness. For maximum happiness, they were saying it's $70K.
Yeah.
Give or take, depending, and possibly for inflation now, 100K or whatever.
Yeah.
Where is that threshold where you think, I earn enough, I'm happy?
I mean, a lot of people will tell you there isn't a line, but if the line is, like you say, what, 80 grand is that in pounds, roughly? A lot of people will struggle to ever get there, or probably won't even ever reach it, and therefore, for them, the line is
no,
that's
not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, let's say it's £80,000.
Yeah,
is the average they're saying, but people don't set themselves a goal of going, if I get to £80,000 a year, I'll be happy.
No,
people want to be millionaires.
Yes,
but what I'm saying is, you need to realise when you've won. And this is quite a famous quote. I can't remember who it was from or anything. They say, and it was basically saying you need to realise when you've won at the game of life.
Well,
now I've got
nobody's looking for the same things, are they?
great family, nice house, enough money to do piss around with stuff like this, knock up a little studio, buy some mics, and
Yeah, but not a big enough garage though.
the garage is big enough.
It's fine.
It's just full of crap.
Yeah.
You can't see the rest of the garage, but over there it's just full of stuff I pulled out of this corner so we could fit the
Actually, what I'm gonna
studio in.
what I'm gonna do? Did you create an Instagram account for us?
No, I haven't done Instagram. There's Twitter.
Okay. Well, I was going to take a picture of your garage and you can post it on there.
Well, I'm going to do a behind the scenes video tour.
Okay.
And I'll do some rubbish like talking about the computer and the setup and things like that. And you'll see how hodgepodge it actually is. But what I'm saying is I can afford to do most of the things I want to do.
Yeah.
Yes, I can afford to go on holidays. I've got a nice house. I can afford to do stuff like this. And so I don't come into this thinking, oh, I'm going to be a successful podcaster or YouTube or anything like that.
It's a bit of fun.
I come in thinking, I want to learn how to do it. I want to understand it. So I did it. And
you had money to be able to buy the bits you need to sort it out.
I'm not wasting money on top spec gear, you know.
At least not yet, anyway.
Not yet, no. But yeah, I'd say, and I won't do. If it took off and it can pay for itself, you know, I'm not saying a lot of money. Even if we could get a podcast up or a YouTube series and all of that, that's making, I don't know, £500 a month.
Yeah,
that's enough to pay for itself. To do warrant upgrades, build a little studio in my garden, and you know, spend 10 grand. What's that? It's a year and a half of doing it at £500 a month. So I'm not looking to be rich. I'm not looking to get rich from this. That would be nice. I'm generally happy in life.
The question is,
so do I feel like I've won? Should I be striving, going, I need more, I need more, I need more, and getting upset because I'm not getting more? Or should I be at this point now go, well, I should be happy now?
That's more of a mentality thing, isn't it? A lot of people will have everything and still want more because it's something else they're trying to fill. But do you feel like that you have things that you want that you can't get right now? Let's say. So let's say, I don't know, you want to spend 6 months in the Caribbean or something. Could you go away and do that next month?
No, I couldn't because I still need to earn a wage.
But do you understand what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. But what my point is, would that truly make you happy? You think it might, but I'm saying, would you? So if you focus on that's your goal, I want to be able to go away to the Caribbean for 6 months, not have to worry about job, have a house ready when I get back, and have plenty of money to do all this. And you never get there, you're never going to be content because you're always like, no, this is what I want to have to do. I don't want to go to the Caribbean for 6 months. No, I have no interest in that. Would I like to have enough money in the bank so I could go, sure, I want to do it. If I want to do it, let's go. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But I can afford holidays every year. I can do a few holidays every year, no problem at all. I can do anything I want in my house. I can buy a car. We've got a couple of cars. I've got a reasonably large garden. Yeah, I've got the shed. I've got the pool in there. I've got the pond over there. I've got the garage here.
There could be. So that's the thing. Like, you can be content with what you've got. Fair enough. But it's like there's a difference between that and having the things you actually want. So let's say take your car for instance, right?
Yep.
You have a kind of mid-range standard car, I guess. Right? I'm not gonna say what it is, but
yeah. Let me explain why. So I've always had my own car, and my wife's had the family car.
Yeah.
Her car's getting a bit on. Well, her car's a diesel.
Yeah.
And she's very much get rid of the diesel environment and stuff like that. She doesn't want to drive it much.
Yeah.
So when I got a new car, it was very much a case of, well, if you get a car that will do for the family, then when we replace her car, we don't have to worry about going and get a family car. So I ended up getting more of a family car. And so when the other car goes, then I might look at getting a car I want. But so yeah, I kind of put that on hold in the interest of having a nicer family car. Yeah. Well, what really happened now is she takes my car everywhere.
So my question though is there a car that you really want that you probably wouldn't sort of go out and buy now. Okay, let's take, I don't
No,
know.
I was considering it. Look, I considered a Tesla, right?
Yeah.
And I decided this is not worth the money. But one of the main things that done it for me is I travel quite far for business, for work, and I'm just not even sure on the range.
That's fair enough.
And the charge times, I've got no charger, nowhere to charge up by my work, and it's quite far away. So I'm relying on going there and back. And then if I have to go out during the day on business as well, it's not uncommon for me to drive an hour and a half to the office and then have to drive on another couple of hours to go visit a client or something like that. They come back to the office and then back home.
But it's comfortable, though. It's comfortable, though, isn't it?
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the mileage
but
from a Tesla. Well, I'd have to stop and charge for, I don't know how long, maybe only 20 minutes. But currently, I don't even have to do that. I just get in the car, it's filled up, I go there, I do my stuff, and I come back. I don't have to worry about it. It takes 2 minutes to fill up. So, would I like a Tesla? Sure. Do I really want one? Not really.
Sure.
Actually, I was the one I would consider is the Golf GTE.
Right.
So it's a hybrid, petrol and electric. I think it's got a 48-mile electric range, and a nice little petrol engine. It's got some decent acceleration, and so that's the kind of thing I would consider. But I'm not going to waste the money on it.
It's not wasting money though. If
I think it is, because currently, I don't think batteries are there yet.
I really want a Sky. Okay, let me come.
You want a Sky car?
No. Let me come at this from a different angle, right? I really want a Skyline R34, right? Very nice car, quite expensive. I don't have the money for it. However, I'm not gonna keep chasing for something that will take me a long time to get.
I'm not saying give up on dreams. I'm saying don't say this is
real.
I'm saying don't say this is where I have to get to in life to be.
Yes, but
my point was millions. People are fixated on becoming millionaires.
Because that's a different thing. That's because they feel that will give them a massive cushion in case the economy goes tits up, which it currently is.
Oh, come on. People wanted to be millionaires long before the economy was in trouble.
Well, yeah, but
people always want to be millionaires. They see how millionaires live and they want that lifestyle.
The overall thought is safety net. That's what it is. You have millions in the bank, you don't have to worry about anything. That's the point.
That's not true. Most people just blow it.
That is true. It's just like you say, people blow it, and then they don't. But it's the comfort of having that money in your bank that in their head goes, I've done it, I've made it, I don't need to get anything else. I've got as much money as I possibly need.
Understood. But I think I'm approaching that point where I think, I've won.
That's different.
To be happy, I'm not. There's always going to be stuff I want. I can't afford. I want a freaking private jet. I can't afford it.
But you need to get pilot's license first.
I've done a couple of lessons.
Well, there you go.
Just not doing any more. Because what am I going to do? I'll pass me pilot. Get my pilot's license. And what am I going to do?
We could charter a private flight to France.
Do plane share. Because I was looking at plane shares.
Oh, okay.
Where you buy. You go in with like 4 or 5 people on like a little 6-person Cessna.
But it'll be handy when we get an asteroid that comes and impacts the Earth, and we have to, like all the disaster films, go to an airfield and fly out of there.
Okay, I'm going to move on before you go further into space talk. I'll tell you what we'll do. Right, here's what we should do. We'll start a second channel.
Yes.
And then we can do all those topics you want to do about space and technology and stuff, but they're boring to most people.
How do we know that the viewers don't want to see this?
Well, that's exactly it. We'll do a second channel specifically for that, and then the viewers can go and listen to specifically that stuff. And if you look at our zombie apocalypse video that we talked about, zombie apocalypse video, it's still only on like 13 views after 3 weeks.
Yeah, but let's.
No one wants to know about it. Whereas you look at some of the others, they're on hundreds.
Yeah, but let's figure out why. Isn't that because you paid for the advertising for the third video?
No, I paid for a short.
You paid for a short.
I advertised the Atheist short.
But you also paid for advertising for the full YouTube. What's it called?
Oh no, I did. Yeah, £5.
Yes.
£5 I put on that. Yeah.
Do the same on the zombie one, and then we'll see.
It won't go. Shall I do it?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
All right, I'll advertise the zombie video. £5. I'll do the same thing again.
Mainly because someone I work with didn't watch the second episode, and I had a conversation with her the other day, and she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh, it's about zombie apocalypse." She went, "Oh my god, I love that." I was like, "What are you watching then?"
There are people that will.
Yeah.
But if you look at the categories of podcast is under.
Oh yeah,
It's not under that.
No, but then there's no category.
And this is what I'm saying. We start a second channel, and we can do all those sort of things.
Sure, yeah.
And we don't have to sit in a freezing cold shed to do it, or garage, or whatever. We could do that at our computers.
Yeah. Well, I can't, but yeah, not right now.
There's a spare webcam right there. Oh yeah, you broke your computer, didn't you?
Yes.
But for those of you that don't remember,
No.
well, you already said it this episode. You said about the programming you wanted to be doing and stuff. So,
Yes.
Fat Boy, I'm gonna say it again. Dan. Do I have to put a disclaimer in again? That's his gamer name. I'm not calling him Fat Boy for the sake of it.
Put a disclaimer. Nobody cares.
I do. Someone's going to see it. They will. They'll start calling me freaking horrible and shit. I am horrible and shit, but that's not the point.
If in 5 years I become a beast,
he's a programmer. He's a computer nerd, and he can't fix his own computer.
I'm not a computer nerd.
What do you mean
I'm
you're
just
not
a software
computer nerd?
developer. That's it. And I broke it because I was trying to install Windows 11, like a lot of people will be, and it just ruined my machine. So I haven't had a chance to fix it since last night.
I'm a computer nerd. I'm not a programmer. I like hardware.
Well, yeah.
Hence this PC we're working on right now is built from bits and pieces I had laying around.
Yeah. I like both. Software, hardware,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Okay, moving on.
That'll
Let's
be our
go.
second channel. That will be our second channel.
What, PC hardware?
No, just building stuff.
I'd rather talk about something interesting.
We can talk about that as we go.
Yeah, but if we start doing a PC hardware sort of channel and stuff like that, I'll end up buying loads of parts and building loads of PCs. And what am I going to do with them all?
Then you'll be unhappy.
There's 5 PCs in my house already.
I'll tell you what
and
you can do.
consoles and...
You can string them together, make a supercomputer, and then you can, hunt for asteroids or something, I don't know. Or work out the cure for cancer, I don't know.
I'm going to build a high efficiency PC that runs off solar panels and a battery bank.
It's already done, but carry on.
No, I meant for here.
Oh, for here, okay.
And then I can set it up as a game server.
Yeah, that's another possibility.
Instead of paying for game servers.
Yeah.
If anybody out there wants to play Valheim with us, give us a shout. And join the server.
Yeah.
We'll Dan's doing a little series. We recorded some of the play we do.
Yes.
So
episode 1 should be out soon.
That's a separate channel. Last topic for today.
Yes. Already over an hour.
That's fine. Vegan protesters. Oh, this is quite funny. Obviously in America, I say obviously, wouldn't surprise me if it happens in the UK as well. We've got some pretty stupid people gluing themselves to the road and stuff like that to protest oil or whatever it is. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them in a minute. So vegan protesters in the US, they encased their feet in concrete. So they've got imagine you've seen these gangster films where they've got big concrete blocks on their feet and they sink them to the bottom of the ocean. That's exactly what they look like. So they've got, I don't know, must be 50 kilos of concrete. They've buried their feet in.
Yeah.
Hopefully they use quick drying cement because otherwise means they would have been sat there for days with their feet in concrete.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's quick drying. Anyway, they come along in vehicles and got people to lift them, haul them out and stand them up in front of Starbucks. So they're just there, weighed down with concrete.
Can I ask a question before you carry on? These feet that they've encased in concrete, is it one big block or separate blocks?
One block. One block of concrete. Both feet are in it. I don't know. So the box is probably 60 centimeters across. So 2 foot by 1.5 foot by half a foot deep.
Yeah.
God knows how much it weighs. It's got to be at least probably 40 kilos, 50 kilos.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's 12 of them, and they drop them outside of Starbucks. And so none of them can move. They're stuck. They're stood there, all concreted into their lumps of concrete they're on.
Yes.
And why do you think they've done this?
Because I don't know, Starbucks uses certain
You
milks.
can see it on the screen anyway.
Can I?
Yeah. So what it is Starbucks have an upcharge where they charge an extra 50 cents if you want to use soy milk in your coffees.
Do right, yeah.
And they're protesting that they charge 50 cents more for soy milk. They're saying it's punishing vegans. So you've got these angry vegans out there who do dumbass shit like encase their feet in concrete. Anyway, so they come and get them taken away. Some people manage to get their feet out because they've got their shoes or socks on or whatever. They manage to wiggle out of them. And other people can't get out. They're stuck. They can't get these concrete blocks off their feet. So they have to call the emergency services out.
Wow.
They're coming there and cutting all the concrete blocks off their feet and smashing it.
Causing all sorts of issues.
How much taxpayer money do you want to waste?
Yeah.
This is the police, then the ambulance services, the fire brigade. They all have to come out to deal with these bloody idiots.
And the reason why the 50 cents is probably on soy milk, and a lot of shops do this for lots of different things.
It costs more.
Well, yeah, that, and also it's a minority that wants it, probably. And so they have to charge more to make up the difference. Like, you use normal milk, most of the population will drink normal milk. Not a lot of people will drink soy milk. So you have to make the costs up.
Now, obviously, I said that's obviously in America, and I said obviously, but not so obvious, because here in the UK, we've got people gluing themselves to motorways, which I guess is the equivalent of your highways in the US, gluing their hands down to the road to stop traffic. You must have seen this.
No.
Seriously?
Yeah, I don't watch
Oh,
news.
yeah, in London, M25, one of the busiest roads in the UK.
Yeah.
They bring it to a standstill. It stops all London traffic going in and out of London, essentially. Gluing themselves to the road. So the point they have to get the fire brigade out to get them off. They've got to sit there with solvents to dissolve these glues and stuff that they've been sticking themselves to the ground with.
I'd spray with a hose pipe before I do it.
Bloody hilarious.
Wow,
Oh,
that's
dear.
insane.
And, we're stopping. People actually died because of that.
Yeah, not surprised.
Not because the people that glue themselves to the road, because they blocked ambulances.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Ambulances ended up stuck in queues and massive miles-long queues of traffic. And they couldn't get anywhere because these freaking idiots glued themselves to the road. I can't remember what they were protesting. It goes to show that that kind of protesting doesn't work.
It's absolutely pointless.
I think it was maybe oil. Just stop oil. I think it just stopped oil.
Oh, that was right.
The same people who are chucking orange paint on Van Gogh paintings and things like that.
Okay.
Oh, you said that? I've seen that.
No.
God, you really don't follow the news, do you?
I try not to because it depresses me.
Yeah, so they're
Things like
also chucking paint over Van Gogh paintings and things like that, or over statues, works of art, all kinds of stuff. They're just a bunch of freaking. I can't say that word, can I? I might have to cut that word.
No, you don't. I mean, I've said worse earlier.
Did you? What did you say?
No, nothing. Besides, we established what we were going to say in the first episode.
I actually feel bad about saying that word.
Why? Why?
Because
it depends. Because in England, it's a slang word for
disabled.
No.
It's more than disabled.
It's a slang word for
mentally
idiots.
disabled. Well, yeah, but it's actually related to mentally
the proper
disabled
use.
people.
Yeah, the proper use is that.
Yeah,
but
so I'm not talking about that. I'm using it in regards to fucking idiots.
The slang word means idiots.
The slang basically means that their thought process is a bit shite.
Yes. Terrible.
Which sounds true for these people, because, I mean, what are they thinking?
They're not, that's the problem.
All they've done is angered the population. It actually negatively impacts their cause.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just angry with them.
But they achieved their goal, which is to, whatever it was, stop traffic or stop the oil from getting through or something, whatever it was.
No, it was just to publicise stop oil.
Yeah.
They weren't actually stopping oil containers or anything like that.
No.
It was just to get us on the news so we can get our message across.
Which they did.
The message I got is, bloody hell, I wish someone had run them down. I was seriously wishing that someone runs out into the motorway to glue themselves to the road to do one of these processes and a lorry comes and smacks them.
I wouldn't wish death on anyone, but if it happens, fine.
Sorry, in some cases, some people don't deserve what they have in life.
Yeah, but
I'm not. Do I wish them death? No, I just wish they were in a lot of pain and hurt badly.
That says a lot about you.
It does, doesn't it? It means that, people are going to act like freaking idiots. They should be treated like idiots. If you're going to run out into the middle of one of the busiest roads in the country to try and stop traffic, if you get hit, your own fault.
True. Yeah.
I was saying that a woman did drive her car into some of them. to shove them out the way. This is before they started gluing themselves to the road. They were
Yeah.
just linking arms and blocking the road.
Oh yeah.
So a woman just drove into them slowly and pushed through
Yeah.
them. And she had her 15 minutes of fame. She became quite famous on YouTube.
What, as a bad or a good person?
People loved that she just pushed through them.
Oh, okay.
Just shoved through them with her car.
She probably had to get home to her kids or something, or meeting or something.
Then she went on to talk about it online, and she had her own channel. She putting her views across and stuff like that. Yeah, so she had her 15 minutes of fame, but I think ultimately she's disappeared.
Did she say why she did it?
Yeah, because they were a bunch of freaking idiots, and they shouldn't have been blocking the road.
Okay, cool.
Now, last I heard, there was talk about prosecuting her for doing so.
No, that wouldn't work.
Why not? It's illegal to drive your car into someone. Doesn't matter how slow you're going. Doesn't matter how much they shouldn't be on the road. It's illegal to hit someone with your car intentionally.
Technically, she wasn't. She was.
No, she did it intentionally. She was stopped in front of them. They wouldn't get out of the way, so she drove forward.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. If that's the law.
Yeah. Now, if it was a jury trial and they put me on the jury, I don't care whatever they said. It wouldn't matter. I would have found her not guilty. And I would have convinced the rest of the jury not guilty.
Yeah, I mean, nobody got hurt with what she did. So, I mean, what can they prosecute her with? Driving into someone.
Reckless driving.
I mean, that suggests that she was driving them at a speed.
No, reckless. It could be considered reckless. You don't have to injure anyone to be driving recklessly.
Okay.
Driving into someone, even at slow speeds. If someone had fallen in front of her, she could quite easily have driven over their foot, their ankle, wrist, whatever.
My mum did that to me once.
Ran you over?
She drove over my foot, yeah.
I see. Was your foot encased in concrete?
No.
Would have been all right. That's why you should have encased it in concrete.
I think that would have been worse, wouldn't it? Ouch. Oh dear. Yeah, so that's not good.
And that's the show for today. On that note, bye-bye.
Good night.
See you next week.